Candace, we haven't seen you since graduation. We've missed you a lot. We recently heard that you transferred to a new school. Is this true? How did you decide to transfer to another school in your senior year? Asked the girl by her friends. You see, I managed to transfer to International Island High School. The girl started to tell, but suddenly she was interrupted. A joyous shriek was heard at a neighboring table. It turned out that a new video of everyone's favorite Rowan Gyas had been released. You heard, there's a new Rowan video out. I'm sorry, but I have to watch it. Candace, you should watch it too. That guy is very famous, Melissa exclaimed. This video is from the official account of International Island High School. This guy is freaking cute, said Melissa and pressed the play button. Hello, my name is Nagar Kadiram. This is the Today's School program. Recently, the most talked about topic on the internet has been videos of students performing at the International Island School Festival, said the anchor. And it's no wonder, as these are extremely talented kids. Today, I am here at International Island High School to meet these students. Hello, my name is Rowan Gyas, and I'm a student at International Island High School. Hello, and I'm Hannah Izumil. I'm his classmate, said the pink-haired girl sitting next to her. Rowan cut into the conversation and asked for the names of their friends, who also participated in the performance to be listed below the video. I would also like to thank all the students who support us even during exam week. Our school has a wonderful curriculum that helps students develop their talents. Hannah took a water bottle from the table and tried to open it. Since the girl failed, she handed the bottle back. Rowan took the water bottle that the girl couldn't open, and after opening it, he handed it to Hannah. International Island High School is located on a small island far away from the mainland. That's why all the students live in dormitories, narrated Hannah, taking the water bottle in her hands. Oh, wow. Did you see how he just opened the water bottle for her? How considerate he is. It's that same Rowoon, the son of the president of Haesong Group, Melissa exclaimed. All of our students live in dormitories while studying. Every quarter, they are assigned to different rooms according to their rank. Broadcasting from the smartphone screens was Rowan. By the way, Candace, what school did you transfer to? Melissa asked. International Island School and its students were always a topic of discussion in the city. For this reason, Candace wanted to brag to her friends that she would be attending this famous school. The very next day, Candace traveled to the island where the International Island High School was located. It was very unusual for the girl that she had to get to the school by airplane. Only the most privileged children attended this school. As fate would have it, Candace was lucky enough to get here. Entering the dorm room, the girl saw a half-naked Rowan standing in the middle of the living room. I know this is your room too, but could you please put on a t-shirt? The girl asked. Look, have you seen the video from yesterday yet? How did I do? Asked Rowan to the girl. Not bad. It was cute when you opened the bottle of water unexpectedly. It seemed quite natural, replied Candace. It's all thanks to my notes. The information recorded here is mined with tears and blood. Rowan showed Candace his notebook. It bore the title, How to Win a Girl's Heart. Rowan noticed a heavy suitcase in his mate's hands. He took the luggage from her hands. You're the one who taught me all this. Also, you always told me about helping a girl with heavy things, said Rowoon. Since Rowan was suddenly too close to the girl, her ears turned very red from excitement. Wait, are you all right? How are you feeling? Yeah, you have a fever. Wait, I'll get a wet towel right now, said Rowan, touching the girl's forehead with his palm. Rowan took a small towel and dampened it with cold water. What is he doing? I didn't teach him how to do this. He's improvising at the moment. Surprised, the girl thought. Candace was lying on the warm floor with a cold towel on her forehead. Rowan, half lying on the bed, was scrutinizing his notes. I still can't believe I'm in the same room as Rowan. If someone had told me a few months ago that this would happen in my lifetime, I never would have believed it. Candace involuntarily remembered her first day at International Island High School. The school turned out to be very large, so it took Candace a long time to find the right classroom. High school students walked past the girl, hurting her shoulder. Her favorite keychain slipped off her backpack and fell to the floor. Rowan came over and picked up the keychain and handed it to the girl. Taking the keychain in her hands, Candace noted to herself that the guy standing in front of her was really handsome. "Hey guys, watch where you're going! You just almost knocked that girl over!" shouted Rowan to the seniors. The seniors hurriedly apologized to Candace. Finally, finding the right classroom, Candace entered the classroom and noticed that the guys she ran into in the hallway were her new classmates. Candace wanted to sit down in an empty seat, but her roommate Jarina abruptly grabbed the girl by her backpack. "We can't sit there since those are Summa dormitory seats. Maybe you forgot, but this school has a ranking system for dorms. Summa dormitory is in first place, Magna is second, Summa is third, and Status is fourth. And then comes us, the fifth dorm apothecai. So try to be careful and only sit in the seats that belong to our dormitory." The teacher entered the classroom. The first lesson began. Candace knew very well that International Island High School was a prestigious private school built on the island. The children of the wealthiest people in the country attended this school. The children of respected politicians, doctors, judges, and lawyers could be found in the school. The facilities were top-notch, and the food was like a Michelin star restaurant. On weekends, the students would go home. All the students at this school wear only luxury brand items. The most popular student is Rowan Gias. He is the son of the president of an influential company. In this school, he is the real star and the richest of all the students. Jarina continued to explain. For 3 years, Rowan has been using the best room of the first dormitory. It is located on the topmost floor. All the other students of the first dormitory live below it. And here's our fifth dormitory. Yes, unlike the others, it looks modest, but it's okay to live here too. I can understand that the dormitories are different because people pay for them, but the common areas should be the same for everyone. Why is there such a difference here? Candace asked. The use of school facilities is also included in the hostel fees. That's why different equipment is used in each of them, Jarina explained. You know that penalty points are given for breaking the rules, right? An excessive number of them can lead to expulsion from school. Some might say it's discrimination, but what can you do when the best school in the world does it? By the way, have you packed your things yet? Everyone's going home this weekend? Or are you planning on staying here? Jarina asked. Candace answered her that she would have to stay in the hostel this weekend since her parents had gone abroad. This was actually a lie. Things were a little different in Candace's life. She was from a simple family, so she couldn't afford to fly home every weekend. Her family just didn't have the money for it. On weekends, Candace was left in the hostel all alone. I come from such a humble family that I can't even afford a room in the basement of Hostel 5. If everyone finds out about how I got here, there will be no disaster. I should keep a low profile until I graduate, said Candace into the blue stone hanging around her neck. You don't have to worry about that. I think a lot of people care absolutely nothing about you. And you said yourself that the school will reallocate dorms every 3 months. You'll have a chance to move into a better dorm, Milena replied. To get into a better dorm, I have to have good grades and be able to pay the cost of the dorm. That will only happen if our parents win the lottery or something, replied Candace to her sister. Still, you got into this school thanks to our parents. When you graduate from it, you'll have the opportunity to get practically any job you could ever wish for. Milena encouraged her sister. On top of that, for the moment you're breathing the same air as everyone's favorite Rovun. I envy you very much. You're lucky. By the way, I saw your favorite Rovan the other day. I agree with you, he's really handsome. And he seems to be the dream of every girl in this school, said Candace. Milena hurriedly disconnected. Her online meeting with the writers had started. Candace and Milena were twin sisters who had a special secret. When they were born, they held super powerful stones in their hands. It was a unique item of their family. With the help of these stones, Milena and Candace could keep in touch. Candace decided to enjoy the silence of the island. After the students left, it became completely deserted. Candace heard some rustling in the bushes. Looking into the bushes near the road, the girl spotted a black cat. Are you lost? What a cutie! I see you're someone else's. You have a pendant hanging around your neck, said Candace, taking a seat next to the cat. The girl reached for the cat to get a closer look at the pendant hanging around its neck, but the cat scurried away. Following the cat, Candace found a large hole in the fence. Looking through the hole, the girl saw a huge pool with sunbeds. Wow, this place is beautiful. And if I understand correctly, this pool is for the residents of the first dormitory. Candace thought to herself. Rowan, are you really going to swim? Wait, I have something to tell you, shouted the blonde. Candace hurriedly hid behind the nearest palm tree. And why are these students here? Aren't they only supposed to return tomorrow? If anyone finds out that I was on the grounds of the first dormitory, I'll get penalty points. Where am I supposed to hide now? And what do you want to talk to me about? Asked Rowan to the blonde. I'm this. Anyway, we can go somewhere else with you, said the blonde and pulled Rowan's hand. Suddenly, the guy heard some rustling behind a palm tree. He rumbled towards the noise, but didn't see anything. Let's get out of here. It's cold to swim today, the blonde insisted. Candace carefully waded into the water and covered her head with a palm leaf. I get it. That blonde wants to be Rowan's girlfriend. Are you cold? Then come back inside. I'm about to turn on the heater. Rowan pressed a button on the remote control. This guy is kind of weird. Doesn't he realize what the blonde wants from him? Candace thought. It's a little chilly in here. On top of that, I'm getting hungry. Do you want to go get some food? Asked the blonde to Rowan. Why would you want to go anywhere? There's plenty of food here, said Rowan and pressed the button on the remote again. At the same second, a desk drawer slid out. Look at all the food in here, exclaimed Rowan joyfully. What's he doing? Does he really want to draw a line between them? He looks like he's having a lot of fun, thought Candace, watching what was going on. The blonde walked over to Rowan and wrapped her arm around his waist and clung tightly to him. Why don't we go to my room, watch some TV show and chat? The blonde suggested. Her face flushed. Are you all right? Your face is really flushed. Maybe you have a fever? Exclaimed Rowan, grabbing the girl by the shoulders. Why, he doesn't understand anything at all, horrified Candace. I think there must be a first aid kit around here somewhere. I'm sure this pool has absolutely everything, said Rowan and began to explore the pool. Candace had to sink to the bottom of the pool. Don't go anywhere, just stay with me, asked the blonde girl. But why do I have to be with you? At the moment, I just want to swim, replied Rowan to the girl. Why don't you just go already? Why don't you want to stay with her? He's so stupid after all, Candace thought with despair. Fine. Do whatever you want. Forget about what I just told you. You're right. The weather really is great today, so you can go swimming, the blonde exclaimed and turned around and headed for the exit. Well, he's so handsome. I can't contain myself, mumbled the blonde. I have no idea why she's acting like that. Is there nothing wrong with her? Maybe she has a fever? I'll have to get her to meet her GP. Well, let's not talk about it. Time for a swim, mumbled Rowan. Candace watched apprehensively then as Rowan stripped off his clothes and kneaded his body before climbing into the pool. After a few seconds, Rowan jumped the water, raising a column of spray into the air. Candace had to sink to the bottom of the pool again. Oh no, if I get caught, I'll definitely get penalty points. People might even think I'm a pervert peeping on my classmates. Then my plan to keep a low profile would be ruined. But I can't stay underwater forever. I'm already running out of air. Rowan noticed air bubbles rising from the bottom of the pool. When Candace surfaced, she accidentally bumped her head on Rowan's face. With a loud shriek, the girl sank to the bottom of the pool again. From the hard impact, Rowan lost consciousness for a while and fell into the water. Opening his eyes, Rowan saw the girl's face in front of him. Who is she? What is she doing here? The boy thought in surprise. Candace pushed herself away from Rowan and swam upwards. We just met eyes. This is completely insane, mumbled Candace, climbing out. And where do you think you're going? Shouted Rowan, grabbing the girl's leg. With a frightened squeal, Candace pushed Rowan away from her with her foot. At Rowan's disgruntled shout, Candace rushed towards the hole in the fence. So where did she go? I'm pretty sure that girl isn't from our dorm, and I don't remember ever seeing her before. By the way, she has a rather remarkable pendant around her neck, mumbled Rowan. The stone on her pendant is the same color as the one that adorns my earring. Walking over to his buddies, Rowan told them that there were still students in the dorm besides them. He saw some girl in the pool. You mean you saw a student from another dormitory? What a reckless act. She'll get a lot of penalty points for sneaking in here. What if she's a pervert? Rowan's classmates exclaimed. I wanted to catch up with that girl, but somehow she just disappeared. And the more I think about her, the more furious I get. If she catches my eye, she'll be in trouble. But let's better discuss Oiri's situation, suggested Rowan. Is it true that you might be moved to the second Magna dormitory at the next allotment? Asked Medina. Yes, the recent drop in oil prices has put my father's company in a tight spot. And why on earth would he go into the oil business? Lowering his head low, Oiri said, And what are we going to do if you move to another dormitory? We won't be able to see you as often, and your pride might suffer. The students in the second dorm will look down on you, Vanessa remarked. Of course, we can't help your family business, but we can do something else, noted Rowan. The state of your family business will determine which dormitory you'll be staying in, but our grades and popularity ratings can make a difference, recalled Grady. Medina offered to influence the vote to keep Oiri in their dormitory. To accomplish that, Vanessa advised throwing a party. What a long day today is after all, grumbled Candace. I wonder if that cat is all right. Was he able to return to his master? Though it doesn't matter anymore, he almost got me penalty points in my first week of training. Candace decided to contact her sister to tell her what had happened. Milena didn't answer her sister for a long time. Suddenly, Rowan heard someone's female voice coming from his earring. At first, Rowan didn't realize what was happening or where the sound was coming from. He jumped up from his seat and started looking around. What's taking you so long to answer? You must be resting, am I right? Anyway, why am I calling you? I met Rowan at the pool today. He turned out to be a real retard. A woman's voice spoke. He may look like a pro at talking to girls, but he really isn't. Okay, I'll leave you to it. We'll talk to you when you wake up. I'll tell you everything in more detail. Where was that strange voice coming from? It sounded like someone was whispering in my ear. And if that girl saw me in the pool, it's probably the one who tried to drown me. What's going on now? Rowan thought in surprise. Since Monday morning, the whole school had been discussing the upcoming party in honor of Oiri's rescue since morning. I suggest we have our party at the Chili Crab restaurant. The food there is so divine it will make your fingers lick, said Rowan. And how does he envision a crab party? Is everyone going to pick at their plates long and tediously? Candace thought. She was sitting not far from the students of the first dormitory, so she could hear their conversation. Medina, what do you think about this? By the way, they also serve beef there in addition to crabs. It's the most expensive place around. Rowan looked at the girl carefully. I like your suggestion, Medina exclaimed enthusiastically. They're joking, aren't they? I don't think this restaurant would be suitable for a party. Those students definitely have some problems. They want to please Rowan with all their might, Candace thought. At lunch, Vanessa suggested that they call the students of the third sum dormitory to the party. I think their status is too low to come to our party, said Medina. If Oiri asks someone out, the guys in the second and third dorms will tell everyone else about it, said Grady. And now that we have the invite list in hand, let's decide the most important thing. We need to come up with the main event of the party, exclaimed Medina. Are you suggesting something specific? Grady clarified. I'm suggesting we have something romantic. A couple's dance, for example. Blissfully crying her eyes, Medina said. Rowan, what do you think about that? Asked Oiri. I don't know, I'd like something a little more drive, answered Rowan. Yeah, it would be great to play shooting games or racing games on the big screen, exclaimed Grady and Oiri excitedly. I have a feeling they're going to have a lousy party. They all want to please Rowan, and he's the most selfish of men, thought Candace, listening intently to the conversation between the boys. But I don't think he is like that because he has a lot of money. I can see that Rowan is very generous. He acts like that because he really doesn't understand what's going on around him. He does what he likes without thinking about others. The most amazing thing is that the people around him agree with any silly or strange thing he says. They are willing to support any suggestion he makes. These people believe everything Rowan says because they adore him. But if he didn't have money or fame, wouldn't this whole idol have fallen apart? Would people be drawn to him? And on the other hand, why should I worry about him? I should mind my own business. It has nothing to do with me, and I don't want anything to do with Rowan. I'll be in trouble if he finds out how poor I really am. I just need to get through this year quietly, and then my training will be over. Hey, sister, are you ignoring me again? Is it all because you have a lot of work? Why aren't you answering me? Heard in Rowan's ear. Here it goes again. I feel like I'm slowly going crazy, thought Rowoon. You like Rowoon, don't you? I have a lot to tell you about him. He and his friends want to have a party and then play some game. It sounded in Rowoon's ear. What? Did that girl hear everything? Is she around? Rowan started looking around again. So, what are we supposed to do now? We can't get reservations because the Chili Crab restaurant is closed for renovations. We'll have to find somewhere else, Vanessa exclaimed. Then I suggest we make a reservation at Father Tadeo's restaurant. Rowan, you remember Tadeo, don't you? We went to the same kindergarten with him. He's a short, quiet, and dorky guy, reminded Grady's buddy. The guy every schoolgirl in our country dreams of is actually the ultimate idiot. His good looks are misleading everyone. A female voice continued to speak. Suddenly, Rowan saw a girl with a blue pendant. He immediately guessed that the female voice belonged to her. Wait for me here. I'll be right there, said Rowan to his classmates. Oh shit, I guess he recognized me. Frightened, Candace thought as she noticed Rowan approaching her. Candace turned around and ran away. Suddenly, a black cat flashed between her legs. Candace had to stop. That's the same cat I saw the other day. I wonder if he's aware of how much trouble he's causing me. Irritatedly, the girl muttered. Cat, I'm glad to see you, but I'm in a bit of a hurry right now, so I suggest you come with me. Picking up the cat in her arms, Candace ran onward. Suddenly, a guy unknown to her appeared in front of the girl. You may not know this, but this is my cat, said the guy. Suddenly, the cat hissed angrily. The guy noticed a name tag on the girl's chest that had her name on it, and that she was a student of the 5th dormitory. Candace heard loud footsteps behind her. Turning around, she saw Rowan. Damn, what am I supposed to do now? I can't believe he recognized me after all. The girl thought fearfully. Guy noticed that the girl standing in front of him was scared shitless of Rowoon's first handsome man. The guy pulled Candace close to him and pretended to kiss her on the top of her head. Okay, now explain to me what's going on now, Candace thought in surprise. Rowan saw a couple kissing. The girl he was following seemed to have fallen through the ground. Oh, hello, do you remember me? My name is Tadeo. I'm from the 3rd dorm. Rowan embarrassedly turned away from the love-struck couple and strode away. Candace decided to see if Rowan had left. She saw a blue gemstone earring glinting in his ear. While the girl was distracted, Tadeo took the cat from her. Like I said, this cat belongs to me. And by the way, he really doesn't like it when someone picks him up. Are you okay? I thought you needed my help, said Tadeo. Ah, that's what it was. Thank you for your help, replied the girl. You're welcome. I'm even glad I was able to help you after all. The whole thing was extremely entertaining, said Tadeo, laughing merrily. Take a map of my restaurant. Really, I'm not the one who actually runs it. You can come there whenever you want. The restaurant is in the back of the school. Tadeo held out a black business card to the girl. As for my cat, he lives here. His name is Leo. Phew, I almost embarrassed myself today. Still, Rowan's earring keeps me going. Candace thought to herself as she fell tiredly on the bed. Candace received a phone call from her sister. Milena confessed that she had lost her earring somewhere. It happened on Saturday. I went to that sensational place everyone was talking about on social media. It's a really awesome place. The owner is a friend of Rowan's. A lot of girls gather there as everyone wants to see him. I didn't feel my earring pop off my ear. What Milena didn't know was that a couple hours after she left, Rowan sat down at the same table. He found an earring with a beautiful bright blue stone on the floor. Rowan decided to keep the earring for herself. That woman's voice haunts me all the time, and I'm more than sure that voice belongs to the girl I met at the pool, thought to himself Rowan. Rowan, and what are we going to do about Restaurant Zero? It's all booked up there since it's a very popular place. Maybe you can do something about it? Call Tadeo, asked Rowan of his buddies. Sure, we went to the same kindergarten with him. I think he can help us find a suitable table, replied Rowan. I remember Tadeo. He was a terrible nerd as a kid. And what was his nickname? I think everyone called him the stupid asshole. He's changed a lot now, thought Rowan as he walked down the stairs. I heard that the guys from dorms 1 and 2 want to throw a party in my restaurant, Tadeo said in a disgruntled tone. You don't have to worry about money. I'll pay you enough, said Rowan. Since Rowan and Tadeo were the most handsome guys in the school, a crowd immediately formed around them. The students were very curious about what the two were talking about. Candace was scrutinizing the earring in Rowan's ear. It was very similar to the one Milena had lost. I need to check it out, the girl thought to herself and called Rowan's name. I can hear you. Show yourself to me quickly. Stop hiding from me, shouted Rowan. This can't be happening, it flashed through Candace's mind. It turns out he's been hearing what I've been saying all this time. I've been calling him weird, stupid, making fun of his relationships with girls. I even called him an idiot the other day. What have I done? Maybe I should quit this school. Candace got into International Island High School thanks to an accident her parents were involved in. The driver of the principal of International Island High School failed to control his car and crashed into Candace's parents' car. To make it up to her driver, the school principal offered a good monetary compensation, but Candace's father asked to be taken to the island school. In the beginning, the girl was reluctant to go to this prestigious school, as she knew that only children of very rich people study there. Her parents insisted that Candace go to the International Island High School after all. I heard that big companies are always on the lookout for people who graduated from this school. Graduates get 6-figure salaries. We can finally change our lives, Milena exclaimed. I think you should allow Candace Tapukai to enroll in your school. That family can be a real headache. The girl's father insists that she attend your school. He has promised to stage a solitary protest if she is refused, said Assistant Kong. Are you saying the Tapukai family are crooks? Clarified the principal of International Island High School. No, we checked everything out, and it turns out to be a wonderful family. They have quite a few good deeds to their credit and also have a history of donations going back a long way, Assistant Kang replied. Then why is Mr. Tapukai scaring me with solitary protests? Clarified the headmaster. Sir, you yourself are well aware that noble deeds are not always a guarantee of financial prosperity. Apparently, none of their generation ever mastered the skill of making money, the aide explained. The head of the household is having a particularly hard time. He had to work as a cab driver after his business failed. One day, his daughter had an accident while trying to save someone. That caused a lot of financial hardship for the family. Both of his daughters had always done well in school, but due to the accident, they were unable to get decent financial support. Thus, the head of the family turned into a hard-working and money-hungry person. But he can be understood. This is really a problem. I can't just transfer this girl to my school. It's against the rules. But ignoring her father's request won't work. If he causes a commotion, he'll draw negative attention to us, grumbled the headmaster. A week later, the principal of International Island High School agreed to accept Candace Tapukai. Her parents were extremely happy about it. Listen to me carefully. There's a guy named Rowan in this school. He's the only son of the president of the Haesong group and the most popular among the students. I'll be grateful to you if you can gather any information about him, Milena asked. And why did I only transfer to this school? Candace thought sadly. Every day at International Island High School was the ultimate test for her. Tadeo agreed to have a party at his restaurant, but only on one condition. He wanted to attend too. Tadeo is going to come to the party too? But he's from the 3rd dormitory, right? Oiri muttered in a surprised voice. Who cares? He is the owner of this place, after all. We won't be able to ignore him, exclaimed Medina. I've asked a famous party planner I met earlier in our company's International Society Assistance Program to plan everything. so the party will go well. Narrated Rovun. My father and I believe that conglomerates should change. We should donate more and think about the international environment. We should set an example for the community. So you also have an appearance to everything. Is there anything you don't possess? That seems very unfair to me. I even envy you, Grady admitted. My Rowan is perfect, exclaimed Medina. Rowan, what are you going to do after school today? I want to study after school. Could you help me with my math? That's a good idea. You should study hard. There's an online course I'm signed up for. I'll send you the secret code so you can watch it too. This course is taught by a graduate of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, said Rowan to the girl. Wow, it seems that Rowan and the guys from the first dorm are having a party. Zero is a really popular place. I'm really jealous of them, said Jarina. Candace remembered that Tadeo had given her the business card of his restaurant called Zero. As she approached the restaurant, Candace saw Leo, the cat, sitting on one of the tables. The cat meowed loudly, greeting the girl. Leo, did you recognize me? Rejoiced the girl. On the table where the cat was resting was a notebook with pictures of Rowan. Candace, you came after all? Asked Tadeo, who approached. Tadeo walked over to the table and slammed the notebook shut. I came here because I want to ask you something, said the girl. Candace was curious about what was written in Tadeo's notebook and why there were pictures of Rowan lying there, but the girl asked him something completely different. As dusk fell, those invited to the party in honor of Oiri's rescue began to gather outside the Zero restaurant. Oh my God, this can't be happening! I knew that the students of this school were very rich, but what's happening here is beyond my imagination. It's hard to call this a normal school party. Candace thought in surprise. Among the people in the restaurant, the girl spotted Rowan. Candace, what are you doing here? You asked to work today, so don't just stand there. Go help, exclaimed Tadeo. Tadeo took the girl's hand and led the way. Candace couldn't tell him about her coming here because of Melena's earring. She couldn't get into this party as a guest, so she had to moonlight as a waitress. Candace lied to Tadeo that she was bored, so she wanted to do some work. The girl was really hoping that she would still manage to run into Rowan somewhere and get the earring from him. I'll have to take the earring with extreme care. If something goes wrong, I'll be hated by the whole school. I'll be bullied, expelled, and maybe even have to pay the fine mentioned in the contract. There are the main dishes already. Then go out into the hall and set the main table. This needs to be done urgently, so hurry up, Tadeo ordered. Candace began to arrange the main dishes on the table. She's not that bad, which is extremely unexpected, Tadeo thought as he watched Candace work. Pulling the visor of her cap over her face, Candace went up to the second floor where Rowan and his friends were sitting. Let me clear the empty plates from the table. The girl walked over to the table and began picking up the empty plates. And how am I supposed to take the earring from him? It has to be done discreetly. If I can't do it at this particular party, it's unlikely I'll get another chance, Candace thought to herself. When our front man starts hitting on Susie, Oiri will save her at the right moment. And if he does it right, he'll change the girl's opinion of him, said Rowan. The girls of our school love Susie, so heed her words. And if you change her opinion, then others' opinions will change too. And if you win her heart, you'll come first in the popularity vote. Is that how you're going to win the vote? But that sounds cheesy. Even 8-year-olds would be able to figure out that this was all planned out in advance. And I never thought such cool people cared about their dorm level, Candace thought. Suddenly, Rowan looked at the girl. He brought his eyebrows together angrily on the bridge of his nose. Candace guessed that he recognized her. Hey you, haven't we met you somewhere before? Exclaimed Rowan, jumping up from his seat. Your face looks very familiar. I think I've seen you somewhere before. Wait a minute. You go to our school, don't you? Take off your cap quickly. What are you guys doing here? Why are you harassing my waitress? Don't keep her. We have a lot of work to do, shouted Tadeo. Already on my way to the kitchen, Candace said in a joyful voice and rushed away. Why did he interfere in our conversation? Rovun thought irritatedly. Did my staff do something wrong? Or is there something you want to say specifically to me? Asked Tadeo to Rowan. No, everything is fine, replied Rowan. Candace noticed that a thread from the hem of Susie's dress was caught on the metal part of one of the invited girls' bag. Damn, doesn't anyone else notice that but me? I need to help this girl. I hate drawing attention to myself, but there's no other way out. Candace thought fearfully. I'm sorry, but I have to borrow this from you. Tadeo took off Candace her apron. Tadeo then walked over to Susie and put the apron on her. What the hell is going on with him? Grady grumbled in surprise. Still, amazing things go on around here. When those who are supposed to help are idle, the other guy shows his best behavior. This situation is getting weirder by the minute, Candace thought. I wonder if Tadeo is nice to absolutely all girls, or if he has exceptions after all. No, stop. Now is not the time to think about that. I might have a chance to get the earring. I might just as well take advantage of the chaos reigning here. I need to somehow sneak up on Rowan unnoticed and take what was originally my sister's. Hi, Susie, I'd like to meet you. My name is Theodore. I'm from dorm 2, said the big guy who approached the girl. Here comes our front man, Ori exclaimed. Don't worry, Ori. I'll come with you. Rowan put a hand on his buddy's shoulder. If I remember correctly, you and I go to the same school, but I want to make you sad, but I'm not interested in making new friends at the moment, said Susie to the big guy. Why wouldn't you be? You think you're better than me? Do you think that if I'm from the second dorm, I'm not fit to be your friend? The big guy asked the girl. You've been ignoring my private messages the whole time. You think because you're pretty you're allowed to do anything? Hey, who are you anyway? Why are you hitting on Susie? Oiri shouted. Suddenly the lights went out. Sorry, we have a power outage today. Our staff is checking everything right now, so wait a bit. The problem will be fixed soon, said Tadeo. Tadeo hid Susie behind his back. Yeah, he's not just being nice to her. He's protecting her all night tonight. And as long as there are no lights, I have my chance again. Candace thought to herself. The girl carefully on tiptoe began to make her way towards Rowan. Candace almost managed to get the earring out of Rowan's ear. Suddenly the light came back on. Rowan turned around and saw the waitress. Well, why did they turn the lights on just now? The girl was upset. The party atmosphere was lively, and I decided to play around with the lights a bit to further raise everyone's spirits. This caused a problem with the power supply. I apologize, said Tadeo. Now explain to me what you're doing here. I caught you in the act. Now you won't get away with it, said Rowan to the girl. Candace quickly turned around and ran towards the exit. After running out of the restaurant, Candace ran towards her dormitory. Catching the girl, Rowan knocked her to the ground. You were the one who called me stupid and idiot, weren't you? Asked Rowan to the girl. No, that wasn't me, answered Candace. Then why did you run away from the restaurant? Asked Rowan the next question. And why did you run after me? Inquired the girl. Do you really think I'm stupid? And by the way, were you the one who followed me in the pool? And why were you touching my ear? Are you really a pervert? Rowan asked. Yes, because that earring belongs to my sister. It's not just a piece of jewelry, but a new kind of earphone in the form of an earring. Lied Candace. She couldn't tell Rowan that these blue stones she and her sister had gotten at birth. So that's why I kept hearing your voice, Rowan guessed. And since you've already figured it out, then move away from me, asked Candace. Deep down, she was glad that silly Rowan believed her. Wait a minute, why did you call me stupid and idiotic? Just don't pretend it didn't happen, said Rowan, rising to his feet. Yeah, because you don't realize what's going on around you. Even this situation with Susie, who your friends plan to impress. Your plan didn't work. That's why I think you're stupid. You don't have an inkling of what's going on. Don't you realize that Tadeo is deliberately obstructing you? Do you think the lights really did go out on their own? Do you think Tadeo has something against Oiri? Rowan asked. Oh, come on! He doesn't have something against Oiri. He has something against you. He's targeting you specifically. He probably has some sort of grudge, Candace exclaimed. Your sister's earring. The grudge of Tadeo, whom I have not seen for years. Can't you tell me the truth after all? Admit it, you like me. Is that why you make up nonsense? Said Rowan to the girl. And you seriously think that? My sister actually lost that earring last weekend. These earrings go with my pendant at times. Candace pulled a pendant adorned with a bright blue stone from behind her sinus. And about Tadeo, you can ask him all about it yourself. Go back to the party and just talk to him. I'm not giving you that earring just yet. I'm keeping it. And by the way, you still haven't told me your name, said Rowan. My name is Candace Tapukai. All right, Candace. I'll meet you under the tower near the lake tomorrow at 3. If what you say is true, I'll give you back your earring, but if not, you'll have to pay for it. When Rowan entered the restaurant, he saw Susie and Tadeo standing beside her. It was obvious that the girl didn't mind socializing with Tadeo. Rowan, where on earth have you been? After you left, Tadeo somehow unfathomably caught everyone's attention. Our front man said he had nothing more to do here and left. Oiri complained. Look at Tadeo. You can see he likes being the center of attention. We need to do something about that, said Grady. Rowan walked over to the turntable and turned off the sound. The people present in the restaurant looked at Rowan in surprise. You must have had a lot of fun while I stepped away. Now I suggest you play a game. The winner will get my watch. Rowan removed the watch his father had given him from his hand. Is this the limited edition Swiss watch? Only a few people have watches like this. They are very expensive, the classmates exclaimed. In addition to the watch, the winner will receive an invitation from me to my birthday party. It's only a few months away, Rowan went on to say. Rowan's birthday party? It's only for a select few. And if we win, we'll get a chance to spend time alone with Rowan at his house. We'll also get to see his father. The girls present at the party exclaimed, Tadeo, we are out of drinks. Shouldn't you do something about it? This party is in honor of my friend Oiri. I think the owner should pay more surprise attention to what's going on. Who runs a business like this? Go and fill our glasses now. Rowan poured the contents of his glass onto the floor. Don't cross the line, asked Rowan to Tadeo. Why shouldn't I cross it? Asked Tadeo. Damn that asshole. How dare he? That girl was right after all, grumbled Rowan. Rowan's phone rang. It was his father. The dormitory assignment was about to begin. Rowan's father was wondering how his son's studies were going. Don't worry about that. No one will dare occupy my dormitory. Our company is thriving. My grades are high, and my popularity is off the charts. And you, Dad, are you okay? You sound tired. Don't worry, I'm doing fine. You yourself should realize that stuff happens when you're running a business. I want to warn you not to rely too much on the company and to keep your guard up. You will be helping me soon, said Rowan to his father. All right, let's wrap this up. Hope you're doing well. We'll talk at home when I get back this weekend. Good night, Father, said Rowan and hung up the phone. His father's voice was very tired. Rowan guessed that something had happened. Rowan decided to give the earring to Candace. All the girl's words turned out to be true. He's a pretty good man since he decided to give me the earring, Candace thought to herself. Answer me one question. How did you find out about Susie? Asked Rowan. I just noticed that Tadeo has a way with girls that you don't. I think he knows exactly what girls want. At the party, he saw that Susie needed help and rushed to give it. Girls like little things like that, Candace replied. But after all, girls like me as it is. Why should I know what they want? Rowan asked, surprised. Well, since you think so, you're obviously not getting anywhere with girls. I noticed at the pool you kept trying to pull away from that blonde who wanted to spend time with you. Then your girlfriends wanted to have a romantic party, but you wanted some kind of drive. You suggested we play games. I have absolutely no idea what the problem is. Rowan muttered in surprise. It's not polite to do that to people. Sometimes people can't tell you what they really want. You ignore their wishes and do the opposite of what they want. They agree with you all the time because they're afraid to cross you. You're the best student. Everyone wants to get along with you. Wait a minute. So you're saying that since I'm a powerful person, everyone just pretends to like what I do, even when they don't? Rowan asked. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying right now. You just think you're popular. Some people aren't comfortable with you, but they keep quiet anyway. Candace replied, Look, this is my sister. She's a famous teenage relationship counselor. She even hosts a radio program. It doesn't occur to you that I'm versed in some aspects of relationships because of my sister. With my help, a whole truckload of couples in love have rolled off to a happy future. I'd like to ask you not to say anything to your friends. Let's pretend that nothing happened between us, Candace asked. Of course I won't tell anyone anything. I don't want anyone to know that I got involved with a girl from the 5th dormitory. So don't worry about anything and try to stay as far away from me as possible, replied Rowan. Well, since you don't want to take my word for it, try doing the dumbest thing in front of your friends and see what happens. If they pretend they liked it, then I'm right. And if they don't, I'm wrong. Well, not anymore. I won't do that, for you're a real nutter. Rowan objected to the girl. Phew, it's finally over. Now I can go back to my quiet school life, mumbled Candace, looking at her sister's earring. The next day, the dormitory allocation was to begin. The student committee was busy counting popularity votes and evaluating the students' performance. The students of the higher dormitories were afraid of losing their status. What will happen to us? Are we going to remain prisoners in the basement of the 5th dormitory? Jarina exclaimed. Candace received a message on her phone from the student council. It turns out she had exceeded the maximum allowable number of penalty points due to a flagrant violation of school rules. Is this a stab in the back? Why did Rowan do this? Candace thought to herself. Tadeo, why did you want to see me? Asked Candace. I wanted to thank you for your good work at that party. I'm sorry I called you so late. I've been a little busy. I transferred the money to your account. By the way, take it. It's a gift certificate to my restaurant. On your next visit, I'll serve you in a special way. Also, you can come and work anytime you want. I'll always be happy to see you. He is definitely a charming young man. He knows how to win people's hearts. I think it's in his blood. Tadeo liked Candace more and more with each new encounter. I really screwed up this time. I was never able to get Susie on my side. I'll be expelled from Suma for sure, Oiri said in a sad voice. Hey, that's not going to happen. Your grades are good, and oil prices are up again, and you know you've never been expelled from Sumi in the history of the school. Cheered up his buddy Grady. I'm really jealous of Rowan. He'll probably get that first-class room again, said Oiri. I can't stop thinking over that girl's words to me. Am I really dumb and don't realize what's going on around me? Mumbled Rowan. What are you talking about? You mean I'm not allowed to use the dormitory for 6 months? Candace interjected in surprise. That's right. We received an anonymous report that you trespassed into the pool of the 1st dormitory building. We have evidence from the surveillance cameras. A stern woman with glasses answered. She was the student council president. But I got there completely by accident, didn't I? I got lost, Candace exclaimed. Messages began to arrive on the students' phones. They told them which dormitory they had been transferred to. Jarina was lucky. She was transferred to Magna. It was the 2nd dormitory. And where am I going to go when I get kicked out of my room for 6 months? Candace muttered. There was a message on Oiri's phone as well. He stayed in the 1st dormitory. Rowan stayed in his unique room. This is amazing news. And I'm sure you'll be using this room the whole time. Your credentials are impeccable. You have the best grades, and you're number 1 in the popularity rankings. Rowan's friends exclaimed excitedly. What if what Candace said is true? Will they really not say anything if I do something stupid? Rowan thought to himself. Word flew around the school that Tadeo had started dating the school's first beauty, Susie. He was moved to the 1st dormitory. Oh, Rowan, look, I've crossed the line again, and I want to warn you that I'm going to cross it again and again. With a cheerful smirk, Tadeo said, You creep! Angrily hissed Candace with a firm step approaching Rowan. Candace, and hello again. Have you gone to the student council office yet? Asked Tadeo to the girl. Yes, I went. Thanks for asking. With a cheerful smile, the girl replied. She decided to back off. It wasn't worth making a scandal in front of Tadeo. Candace glared angrily at Rowan and hurried back to class. That's it. I'm done. I'm at rock bottom. And why was Tadeo there? He stopped me from realizing my plan. And how am I supposed to contact Rowan now? If things go badly, I'll be the laughing stock of all the students." The girl thought with despair. "I doubt you came just to say hello. What did you want?" asked Rowan to the girl. "Is there nothing you want to tell me? The anonymous message? Is that your handiwork? And don't pretend like you don't know anything about it. It was definitely you. You said you'd keep it a secret. Why did you send that message?" screamed the girl. "Because of your anonymous message. I got a bunch of penalty points and got kicked out of the dorm for 6 months. No one but you knew I was in that pool. I thought you were a cool guy and you stabbed me in the back." "Candace, this must be some big misunderstanding. I'm sorry to hear you got kicked out of your dorm, but it wasn't my fault. Someone else may have seen you at the pool." Candace got a call from her roommate, Jarina. She told her that there was some girl standing outside their door with some stuff. "Okay, I have to go now. I got some urgent business. I have to run. I'll talk to you a little later," said Candace to Rowan. "And when are we going to talk to you? Or are you going to do such a thing in front of other guys again? You better give me your number and don't try to do those weird things of yours again. It's like you've lost a couple screws in your head," grumbled Rowan. Candace yanked the phone out of Rowan's hands. The girl entered her phone number, and afterward, from Rowan's phone, she called herself. She promised to dial it a little later. After that, Candace gave the phone back to Rowan. "It really wasn't me, so you better get busy looking for that person." "You're not kidding right now? Did you get penalty points for getting caught in the first dormitory's pool?" clarified Jarina. "Yes, so the dorm is off limits to me for 6 months. Only I really beg you, don't tell anyone about this. I don't know how I'll survive these 6 months." Dejectedly lowering her head, Candace said, "Take this. It's a list of studio apartments for rent near the school." Jarina held out a folded piece of paper to Candace. "A lot of kids from our school who were kicked out just like you live there. You can also meet there those who just don't like living in the dormitory. All the rooms are fully furnished, so you'll be able to find a suitable place to live." "Look at the cost of these apartments. There are so many zeros, it's hard to count them." It went through Candace's mind. Candace sat on a bench in the park and pondered what she should do next. Her sister wasn't picking up her phone, so the girl was feeling extremely lonely. Suddenly, a girl unknown to her approached Candace. "Excuse me, can I ask you for directions? Where are the student council offices? I just transferred to you today, so I know absolutely nothing here," the girl explained. "What a beauty she is after all," Candace thought. "What grade are you in now?" asked the girl. "I'm in my senior year now," answered Candace. "Great. That means you and I will see each other very often. By the way, my name is Hana Izumil. I'll see you a little later." Hannah put on her helmet, got on her bike, and raced towards the school. "Actually, the student council is in the other direction. But okay," Candace muttered. "That girl seems a bit clumsy, but that's made up for by her beauty. She looks like a real movie star. You can tell she's not a bad person right away." Candace's cell phone rang. It was her sister, Milena. Candace was eager to share the happy news with her sister. She was able to get her earring back. "We have already received all your documents, so you can start classes from next Monday. I want to warn you, we have a penalty point system. This applies to absolutely all students," narrated the chairwoman. "You are not allowed to use the facilities of the dormitories above your rank without permission. Recently, our student got penalty points for this. You will be living in the first dormitory, so I don't think there will be any problems. We have recently finalized the dormitory allocation for the second quarter, so you won't be able to fully enjoy the benefits of the first dormitory at the moment. Is that okay with you?" the assistant chairman asked. "You don't have to worry about that. I'm getting a hotel room," said Hannah. Candace found the cheapest hotel, but still it was beyond her means. Rowan got a call from his father. He told him that his acquaintance's daughter, Hana Izumil, had recently transferred to an international island high school. Rowan's father asked him to keep an eye on her. "Okay, I'll meet her in person first and then talk to my friends. We'll keep an eye on her," Rowan promised. Looking out the window, Rowan noticed Candace walking alone. "Dad, I'm hanging up. I've got some business to take care of here." Rowan pressed the hang-up button. Did she really get kicked out of the dorm? Rowan wondered. I'm so tired of lugging this suitcase around, and who's calling me at this hour? Grumbled Candace. The phone screen popped up with the caller's name. It was Rowan. Why the hell is he calling me? What does he want from me? The girl pressed the disconnect button. She dropped me? What the hell is she doing? Marveled Rowoon. Rowan dialed the girl's number again. He's calling me again. Weird. I thought he called me by mistake. That's why he pressed the disconnect button. But why is he calling me? My head is spinning without him. Candace thought to herself, and still decided to pick up the phone. And what do you want from me? Grumbled the girl. Did you really get kicked out of your dorm? Or are you just wandering around the beach with your stuff? Asked Rowan. Do you think it makes sense for me to lie to you? That's exactly the reason I wanted to talk to you today, replied Candace. Then why don't you go and check out the hotels and studio apartments that are near the school? If you want, I can send you some addresses, said Rowan. Candace noted to herself that he sounded just like Jarena. They had no idea that she didn't have money for even the cheapest hotel. And worst of all, the girl couldn't admit it to them. All right. Thank you so much for your help. I'll be off. In a tired voice, Candace muttered and hung up the phone. Why did she hang up the phone again? Does she really believe that I'm worried about her? What kind of weird reaction is that? Well, she's an adult girl, so she can probably get her own hotel room or apartment. It's already dinner time, but since I've been kicked out of my dorm, the meal is canceled. I don't have any money. Restaurants are expensive. What am I going to do now? Mumbled Candace. I hope she'll do well. I was confused by her saying that everything happened because of me. For some reason, I involuntarily feel guilty. It's unlikely she doesn't have any money. I think she can work out her problems. Thought to himself Rowan. Rowan went to the dining room to eat dinner. Sitting at one of the tables was Tadeo. He was chatting sweetly with Susie and her friends. I shouldn't pay attention to him. We'll run into him a lot more often from now on. He's nothing to me. Rowan began to calm himself down. Rowan, what took you so long? We've been waiting for you, grumbled Vanessa. I had to do something, replied Rowan. That asshole keeps getting on my nerves. We sat here first, said Grady in a disgruntled tone. Who cares? Just leave him alone. I don't think he'll be here long, exclaimed Oiri. And I think he sat down next to us completely by accident. We should just forget about him, said Medina. Guys, you better take a look at this. I put my eyes on this thing. What do you think about it? My mom's company imports clothes like this exclusively for celebrities. Vanessa showed her friends the vest she was interested in. This is just a wonderful piece. This vest is very beautiful and looks original. It's definitely an eye-catcher. Medina marveled. And I didn't know life jackets were so stylish these days. What brand is this? I want one for swimming. Rowan exclaimed. It's not a life jacket. It's a limited edition vest from a famous global brand. Vanessa muttered in surprise. Did you really think it was a life jacket? Asked Grady and laughed out loud. Even if this thing looks like a life jacket, it still looks exquisite, said Medina and laughed resoundingly as well. What an unpleasant feeling. Is this what Candace was talking about? Rowan thought to himself. Are they really going to go along with any of my stupid antics? I need to do something stupid. What am I going to do that's so ridiculous? Oh, look at that! It's Rowan! I'm dying to be in the same dorm with him. Why don't we ask him to take a picture with us? A group of girls shouted. Rowan, can I take a picture with you? We decided to celebrate today for becoming Summa students like you. Rowan agreed to take a picture with the girls. And what's the stupidest thing for me to do? What people don't expect me to do? That's right. I'm going to take a stupid picture. Rowan thought to himself. Rowan began to fool around on camera. He had never let himself do that before. The girls noticed that Rowan was fooling around, and it embarrassed them a lot. Rowan's friends watched in horror from the sidelines. Damn, maybe I'm doing all this for nothing? These guys could make a real laughing stock out of me. Rowan thought belatedly. When the students' initial shock passed, they all laughed out loud. Rowan, that was awesome! We thought you were very serious, but it turns out you have a wonderful sense of humor. Your poses came out pretty original, the girls exclaimed. Rowan, you are so funny. I'm sure you turned out just adorable in those pictures, said Grady through his laughter. I hear nothing but praise again. These people never criticize me. Candace was right, after all. Those around me shower me with empty compliments and agree with everything I do, Rowan thought. Suddenly he noticed a girl with a motorcycle helmet in her hands. What was that? Hannah asked with disdain in her voice. Rowan looked at the girl in surprise. It was the first time he had seen such a reaction. Without saying a word, Hannah walked past Rowan. This girl is beautiful, a real beauty. I've never seen her before, the students whispered. He's certainly built well and has a handsome face, but he's kind of strange. I didn't expect to see something like that on my first day here. Hannah thought to herself, casting an oblique glance at Rowan. I suppose such a reaction must be the right thing to do. This girl doesn't know who I am, so she's only assessing my appearance and my behavior at the moment. People who find out who I am start acting differently. Ravun thought to himself. Candace came to the Zero restaurant. She really wanted at least something to eat. At the threshold of the establishment, the girl was met by Tadeo. Why did you come here? Aren't you supposed to be in the dormitory right now? Asked Tadeo to the girl. Did I understand you correctly? Do you want to work here? Clarified Tadeo. I see that you come to your place after school. I thought about it, and I decided I want to do something after school too. Along with studying, I want to get some work experience, Candace replied. I always tell you that part-time workers are welcome here, but I'm not sure if that would suit you, said Tadeo. Candace's phone rang. It was Rowan again. If you need to, answer it, said Tadeo to the girl. No, it's okay. It's not an important call. Let's continue our conversation. Where do your staff sleep? Asked Candace. She hung up again. Surprised Rowan. And why are you asking for lodging? Don't you want to sleep in the hostel? Tadeo asked in a surprised voice. After living in the hostel for a while, I realized that it was absolutely not my thing. I decided I'd rather take a chance and start studying business management, just like you, said Candace. Sorry, my phone is ringing now. I'll be right there, said Tadeo, rising from the table. Yes, Susie, I'm at the restaurant right now. In Candace's hands, the phone vibrated again. Looks like Rowan had decided to reach the girl after all. Do you have something important? I'm busy, said Candace into the phone. And where are you now? Asked Rowan. I'm at Tadeo's restaurant right now. I have a personal request for him, replied the girl. I'm coming to you right now. Don't go anywhere, said Rowan, putting on his shirt. I really need to talk to you. And whatever you're asking of Tadeo right now, I can handle the matter. Trust me, I'm a man of my word. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I will now leave the restaurant and wait for you outside, said Candace and hung up the phone. Where were you and I? We were talking about accommodation. Frankly, there's no difficulty in providing a job, but I'm not sure I can provide you with a place to live. I don't know what I'll get out of it, said Tadeo, returning to his seat. But if you have some good reason to do so, I can help you with that. Thank you, that's fine for now. Let's forget about the housing issue. I have to go now. Thank you for listening to me. I'll think some more about the job and I'll call you soon, Candace promised. The girl picked up her suitcase and headed for the exit. Candace was very doubtful that she had done the right thing. Could Rowan's words be trusted? Candace really hoped that he would keep his word. Well, it's finally here. How long have we been waiting for you? Murmured Rowan. I'd like to confess that you're the only person to be the first to drop my call. And that's 3 times already. You still haven't found a place to sleep. I told you about the studio apartments. Why did you have to go to one? I had my reasons, Candace replied. Don't tell me you developed feelings for Tadeo, Rowan exclaimed. Absolutely not. I have no feelings for him, nor, by the way, does he have feelings for me. I came to him because I have absolutely no money. Something happened in my family, so I can't afford even the cheapest hotel, Candace admitted. I get it. You had a fight with your parents. Rowan picked up the girl's suitcase and rolled it to his car. I'll let you stay in my room for a few days. You can take one of the extra rooms. Rowan put the girl's suitcase in the trunk of his car. Why are you doing this for me? Candace wondered. You keep saying that what happened to you is my fault, so you can stay in my room until you're convinced of my innocence. Besides, there's something I want to ask you, so get in the car before I change my mind. And this is what they call a supercar? Candace marveled to herself. The car was speeding down the highway at breakneck speed. Trees and lampposts flashed outside the window. I am now sitting in the car of the famous Rovun Gias. Anyone would want to be in my shoes. Stepping out of the car, Candace marveled at the beauty of the first dormitory. It seemed to the girl as if she had entered a completely different world. Candace waited with bated breath for the elevator to arrive. She was uncomfortable among the marble and gilding. Don't worry, this elevator doesn't stop on the way, so the other guys won't see you. This elevator only works with my keycard, said Rowan to the girl. That's really embarrassing. I followed him because I didn't want to spend the night on the beach, but now I'm not sure it was a good idea, Candace thought to herself. Rowan's room did indeed turn out to be huge. It had several adjoining rooms and a beautiful view of the ocean. Looking out the window, Candace saw the harbor glittering with the lights of yachts. That's where the kitchen is, and that's where my private room is, explained Rowan. Rowan showed the girl to her room. A large double bed stood there. There was nothing like this in the 5th dormitory. This is fantastic, Candace exclaimed. Candace finally understood why all the students in the school wanted to go to the 1st dormitory. Rowan had already lived in this huge room for 3 years. It impressed and delighted the girl. And this will be your room. It's where I train and spend my free time. I'm sorry, but I can't offer you anything better at the moment. This room you'll be able to lock so you can stay here in peace without being seen by anyone. That's great, I'll feel safe here, said Candace. The room Rowan gave her was bigger than the dormitory and her apartment. Since the girl was thirsty, she reached into the refrigerator. There's only drinks and milk down here. Water stands a little higher up, said the girl to Rowan, who came up. Since Rowan came too close, Candace involuntarily blushed. Seeing the girl's reaction, Rowan also blushed. So you realize that the water is on the top shelf, exclaimed Rowan, bouncing off to the side. It's amazing that you have a separate refrigerator for water. Anyway, thank you so much for your help, said Candace. What do you know about the anonymous message so far? I guess I'm still on your list of suspects, so I'm going to have to help you until I clear my name, said Rowan to the girl. You haven't had dinner yet? Fighting with your parents is a given, but you still need to eat. I'll cook something in the meantime, and you go watch some TV show. He let me use one of his rooms, and now he's going to cook for me. Still, he's a lot nicer than I thought he was, noted the girl to herself. You told me once that your sister is a relationship counselor. It turns out that you, too, can read the atmosphere and quickly understand what people want from you. If everything you said was true, said Rowan. Look, tell me honestly, what do you want from me? Why are you going around in circles? You didn't bring me here for nothing, am I right? Asked Candace. To be blunt, I keep thinking about what you said to me a couple days ago. If I want to find out what my guys really think of me, I have to do something stupid. I took pictures of myself in funny poses. Now these pictures have hit the internet. Rowan showed the girl the pictures from the internet. No offense, but you're really, really stupid. You don't have to do what you're told. So what if I told you that? Candace asked. But I wanted to find out how my friends really felt about me, so I did it. And you know, you were right. Even I thought I looked stupid, but they still laughed and praised me for my act, Rowan said in a sad voice. The girl felt sorry for Rowan, so she patted his shoulder encouragingly. This situation most likely shocked you, am I right? I know I was the one who told you to do this, but obviously it was actually quite difficult for you. It's not easy for a person to admit they have a problem. Solving problems takes a lot of courage. I think you can certainly handle it. Is that why you suggested I stay here for a few days? Something like that. In the beginning, I really just wanted to hang out with you, but then I noticed you couldn't find a room, so I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Rowan admitted. Okay, I'll help you out. Let's look at the situation with this vest. You should have noticed the logo of a famous brand on it. And always remember, people don't just show you pictures of things they want to buy. Candace explained. Some people need approval of their tastes, or they just want to show off. Everyone has a desire to be recognized by others. And why not just acquire what you want? Why do you need to necessarily seek approval from others? Rowan didn't understand. Well, what a tightwad you are! It just so happens that people need outside approval, and sometimes they just brag about their wealth, shouted Candace. What am I supposed to do now? I really don't pay attention to little things like that. I find that they don't require my attention, mumbled Rowan. Don't despair. Cheer up. Knowing what the problem is already a good thing. All we have to do is find a solution. Together, we can make it work. I'll recommend you special books and videos on the internet. Candace promised. In the evening, Candace got a call from her sister, Milena. And you still haven't told me how you managed to get my earring back, said Milena into the phone. There's not much to tell. I just found it on the street. My dad once told me that these stones recognize each other, and that even if one is lost, it will still come back to us. Something like that happened this time, said Candace. The next morning, Rowan offered Candace a ride to school. No, you don't! If you and I ride together, we're bound to be seen, Candace exclaimed. No, they won't. I have a tinted car. I'll drop you off at a quiet place near the school, replied Rowan. I know a secret loophole that will get me to the school in a matter of minutes, said Candace. So that's how you escaped from the pool that day? Said Rowan, looking at the hole in the fence. Candace knelt down and climbed into her secret hole. Rowan called out the girl's name. Take the keycard in case you need it. I have a spare. Already a few minutes later, Candace found herself in the schoolyard. The students shouted enthusiastically. Rovun and Medina drove up to the school. Look at that! It's Rowan! I, too, want to ride next to him in the same car. How jealous I am of Medina! The schoolgirls shouted enthusiastically. At one of the breaks, the classmates came up to Rovun and told him that his teacher was waiting for him in the teacher's lounge. He wanted to talk to him about the new student. Rovun guessed that it was the student his father was talking about. All he knew about this girl was that she came from England. Some people said that her family had something to do with the mafia. On his way to the teacher's lounge, Rowan saw a pink-haired girl. She was carrying a large garbage bag in her hands. I've met her again. Who is she? Rowan wondered. The girl walked over to the trash can and left her bag next to it. She looked pretty funny. Besides her school uniform, she was wearing gym pants. It's so great to meet you two here. Both of you. Come into my office, asked the teacher. Hana Izumil is a special student in many ways. Rowan, you represent our school, so help her out. Take her on a tour of the school and show her around. And you, Hannah, ask Rowan about everything. Don't be shy. And why exactly did she turn out to be the student my father told me about? Ravun thought to himself. Where do you want to start? Asked Rowan to the girl. I don't think I'll ever need the help of an idiot, replied Hannah. Hey you, what are you talking about? Exclaimed Ravun in surprise. The weather is really nice today, so I want to go to the beach, shouted Hannah and strode down the hallway toward the exit. Wait, I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding between us, shouted Rowan, but the girl didn't listen to him. Susie is kind and beautiful. You are very lucky to have her. I am glad you have begun to meet. I would like to point out that you two look very good together. Susie's friends told Tadeo. I'm glad Susie decided to finally introduce me to her best friends. I promise I will take good care of her, replied Tadeo. Well, let's talk about Susie's birthday, which is just around the corner. I suggest we throw a party, said Susie's best friend, Brittany. Yes, as Tadeo is the owner of the Zero restaurant, said Molly. What do you think of the party idea? Asked Susie to Tadeo. I assume it will go well. I'll check the schedule just in case, replied Tadeo. He didn't really like the party idea since Susie had promised the other day that she would only spend her birthday with him. Suddenly, Tadeo heard someone arguing. It was just a joke, shouted Rowan. Hannah answered him that she didn't care about him. Well, if that's the case, then why don't you want me to give you a tour of the school? Asked Rowan to the girl. Yes, because I simply don't need your help. I found all the information I need on this school on the internet. So you can tell your father that I really appreciate your concern, but I can take care of myself, replied Hannah. Is this how she communicates with Rowan himself? Who is she? Thaddeus thought to himself. There's talk that as early as next quarter, this girl will be living in the first dormitory. I heard she had some problems, so she was sent to England to study, but she got into trouble there too, narrated Brittany. That girl looks familiar. I have a feeling I've seen her somewhere before, noted Tadeo to himself. Candace placed the papers on the desk of the person in charge of penalty points. On the desk, the girl found a trespassing form for the first dormitory. There, the girl saw the name of the person who sent the anonymous message. It really turned out not to be Rowan. Tadeo decided to walk up to Rowan and Hannah to greet them. I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Your face looks familiar to me, said Tadeo to Hannah. I don't think you and I have met somewhere before, replied Hannah. Candace decided to find Rowan and apologize to him. And what will I tell Rowan when I see him? He'll probably get angry if he knows I falsely accused him. Next to Rowan, Candace saw Hannah and Tadeo. Oh, shit. I don't know what these people have in common, but I'd better get out of here, thought Candace, and hurried to get away as soon as possible. I remembered. Your name is Hana Izumil. You are the daughter of the principal of International Island High School. My name is Tadeo. You should remember me. We met occasionally in kindergarten. I was an ordinary kid, and you were already popular back then. What did he say? She's the daughter of the principal of this school? I definitely need to get out of here, and as soon as possible, Candace thought to herself. Candace, wait! It's really good to see you. I never thanked you for your help that time, shouted Hannah and hurried over to the girl. I'm glad to see you too, said Candace. And how does she know Hannah? Rowan thought in surprise. Well now, my dream of living a quiet life in this school has been shattered by the harsh reality, thought Candace with a kind of sadness. She tried her best to stay away from the popular students of the school, but she had unwillingly gotten into the thick of things.